Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Keshav Madhav Hari Hari Bol. Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Keshav Madhav Hari Hari Bol. एक प्रभु के अनेक नाम, प्रेम से बोलो जय जय राम. एक प्रभु के अनेक नाम, प्रेम से बोलो जय जय राम. श्री हरि बोल, श्री हरि बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. श्री हरि बोल. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. For all those who are new and have no idea what we are saying before the class starts, on the YouTube channel, you can see the meaning of this prayer, this invocation that we do before class. The name of the channel is Team Janki Santok, and the name of the prayer is Om Sahana Bhavatu. So you can look up the meaning on it. It is nice to know what we are praying. If you still don't know the meaning, then nice to know what we are praying before the class. It's a chant really from the from Vedanta, from the Vedas. We are not chanting it in the Vedic style. We're chanting it in the more usual style, but the words themselves are from the Vedas. So you are actually chanting something which is thousands and thousands of years old and has been chanted before Vedanta classes for thousands and thousands of years. You know, sometimes when you get that feeling that you are part of some huge tradition that has gone on for so very long, not because it is old, not because it is traditional, but because every generation read it, studied it, felt it was something that we should give to the next generation. So how many, can you imagine how much iteration this has gone through? How many people felt that this is a good thing for us to keep and kept? And so today, many thousands of years later, we're still doing that original chant. Incredible, no? The thought of it. Normally, if it's something 200-300 years old, we say, oh, so great, you know, 200-300 years. We go to Europe also. I say, you know, this was in 1700, this was in 1600. It's so old. This was in like 3000 BC, 4000 BC, God alone knows when it was. 5,000, God alone knows. I mean, India is not well known for keeping the historical record, so we just know it is very, very old, and we are still chanting it today. Amazing. The thought of it is amazing, isn't it? We are chanting the same thing that all these scholars have chanted all these so many centuries. So nice if you know the meaning of what we are saying and you keep it because you have appreciated the meaning just as all our ancestors before us have done. I don't know whether I'm saying all this unnecessarily. Is there anybody new in class? Otherwise, you're all listening to the same thing over and over again. Anyone new in class today? No, nobody? Okay. So, well, revision on the chants then. So, what we were doing was the three gunas, another extremely interesting concept from Vedanta. From Sankhya also, Sankhya philosophy holds this as well. And in fact, it distinguishes Prakriti and these three gunas. So we did last time renunciation, isn't it? We did, what is Sattvic renunciation? Sattvic renunciation is when you do something. The action that you did was an obligatory action. The action that you did not crave for anything out of it. And the action that you did not glorify your ego. You know, it's not like, oh, ego is such a bad thing and you shouldn't have it, and you know, it's so immoral and stuff like that. It's not like that. To the extent we have an ego in this world, to that extent, a human being will be agitated. You know, we have this policy in many Vedanta institutions, especially with us, that we do not display the names of the donors. And now that we are setting up a major university, everyone's telling me that, you know, it's a big stumbling block that you won't put the name. So these big business houses will be happy maybe to give us the money, but they want us to put some XYZ Vedanta. No, we won't do that. We never put somebody's name. Somebody else said, put a name for everybody who gave more than a certain amount. No, we won't put anyone's name. Why not? Because as Vedanta, people who are Vedantins, people who believe in the rationality of the subject that we are dealing in, that when we do something to enhance somebody's ego, you're actually making that person's life more difficult for him. You're actually doing him a disservice. Many parents do that to their children. They don't recognize it, but they do them the disservice of enhancing their ego. Everything of theirs has their name. This is so and so's. This is so and so's room. This is so and so's cupboard. And nobody else is allowed to touch it. It's a disservice we do to people when we encourage and enhance their egos. Many parents do it to their children. It's really very sad. Out of love, out of, you know, caring for the child, but they're doing it harm. They don't get that. So every time we encourage ego in ourselves or in another person, what we end up doing basically is making that person miserable and unhappy. It's not an easy concept sometimes to understand. But give it some thought. Try and understand this. Put it in your own words and understand it. How is it that by asserting myself each time, how in each case, how I suffer? Each case. To find the real cause and effect relationships is so tough. Because when we suffer, we will never find the ego. We will find somebody doing something wrong or something wrong happening with us. Not find our own ego. like sometimes, how do you even break this cycle of self-destructive behavior? No. When the intellect itself is not clear, how can anyone do anything? So what is renunciation? You did the action not because you liked the action. You did the action because you felt that is the right thing to be done. That's why you did it. You're not motivated because, oh, it's so nice, I love this thing, I love doing this thing. So why did you come to class? Did you come to class because you like coming to class? If you came to class because you like coming to class, one day your mind will like something else. You will not sustain on the path. There will be times when your mind will not like to come to class. Will you give it up? Will you ever be an achiever in any field if you start saying, I'll do it when I like it? So we do it because it is the right thing to be done according to me, not according to somebody else. I thought it through and I decided this is the right thing to be done. And I did it regardless of the fact of whether I liked it or not. I may like it or I may not like it. It's not that I should not do what I like. It is not that I should do what I don't like. None of that. You did it because according to you, that was the appropriate action to be performed. So the first quality of a sattvic action is you did what according to you was the right thing to be done. The second quality of a sattvic action is you didn't do it because you were craving something. Many people do their exercises because they're craving to be slim. Many people go to work because they're craving to get that salary. All this kind of behavior will only agitate you. It'll keep you miserable. Vedanta is only trying to free us from our misery. Why do we look upon it as, oh, this is so bad, you shouldn't do it? We're not children to talk like that. Understand how it is ruining our lives. Craving for something or the other at all times. At no time can I say, I'm good the way I am. I'm craving something or the other. Every moment in your life, craving something. So now when you switch off from the desire from the action and you switch off from the craving for the fruit, what happens usually to people is they stop acting. They say, oh, I don't want that fruit. Some people say, I don't need to exercise. I don't want to be slim. अब slim होके क्या करना है? So when you give up the craving for the fruit, or when you give up the liking for the action stops. Therefore, when they're explaining Sattvic renunciation, they say it's an action. It is defined as an action. It's not about giving up action. It's about doing the action like this. Then you will understand what Ramatirtha says. Oh, tell me, what does Ramatirtha say?
Intense work is best.
I knew, Bharat, you would know this. Intense work is rest. If your work exhausts you, if it gives you stress, know that that action was not a sattvic action. Know that. Don't say my work is stressful. No work is stressful. According to Ramatirtha, okay, I am not saying, he said. Ramatirtha says, intense work is rest. It will become rest if it will be a rest when
Both the craving and desire is gone.
just because I said 2 this time, you don't need to say 2.
And ego also.
And ego also. All 3 Because there is no way you will be agitated in any action. There's no stress possible if you can remove that. But remember, you have to continue the action. Because as many people say, oh, we are great Vedantins, okay? We don't want anything. We don't like anything. I don't think of myself at all. But are you acting? What is your contribution to this world? Are you contributing anything? Or are you just sitting behind and saying, oh, I am so great? So keep it at home, your greatness. It's not helping anyone. Where is the productivity? If you are claiming sattvic action, show us your productivity. Because sattvic action has to give huge productivity. Because you're capable now of thinking at a bigger scale. You're capable of that thought. And that's why it's productive. Because you can function at a different level. You're not petty, मैं ये करूँगा, फिर मुझे ये मिलेगा. The petty nonsense has gone from the head. You can conceive and act for something greater, vaster, bigger. Something that's so much greater than you, meaning so much greater than your body, mind, intellect, that in your own eyes, the body, mind, intellect doesn't even count. Then it is sattvic action. Sattvic renunciation, sorry. What is Rajasic renunciation? First step in Rajasic renunciation is you give up
the action.
the action. But the action is only stopped. Now, why is the action stopped? Not because we become great souls, but because
pain and suffering.
Pain is there.
there's some pain and suffering.
Pain, suffering.
Some issue there is with the action. Many people get divorced out of sattvic renunciation. Too much pain in the marriage, main to chala. You don't do that. I'm not suggesting you don't get divorced. You can get divorced if you like. That is not a problem. But you're leaving something because of the pain. That is not. It is not correct means, what does it mean it's not correct? It means that when you do renunciation, you will get the fruit of renunciation. But when you do this, you will not get the fruit of renunciation. Means you will not grow up. You can do what you like, nobody is to stop you. But if you do Rajasic action, the consequences, no spiritual growth. Rajasic renunciation is you give up an action because of some pain, and when the pain goes, you will take it back again. That means you divorce the first time because of pain. Then you find somebody who according to you is no pain. Then you get married again, right? Now again there'll be some pain in this relationship number 2. So you'll leave relationship number 2 for the pain and take up relationship number 3, which will not be pain. And then what? It will go on. People have gone on for 8, 10 times. They go on. They say, no, marriage is the victory of hope over experience. No matter how much experience you get, you still hope next time you go kasam. Or if you don't have the guts to leave, then you say, oh, leave kiya hota to kitna acha hota. One of the two. Rajasic renunciation are aspiring CAs who give up aspiring for CA because they don't pass the exams. Rajasic renunciation is easy, no? We all do Rajasic renunciation, very simple. Every time something is painful, we say, I don't want to do it. When exercise becomes painful, we say, yaar, chodo yaar, kisko kich padi hai. I'm little overweight, to kya hota hai? Rajasic renunciation. And then comes Tamasic renunciation. What is Tamasic renunciation?
Giving up due to ignorance.
There's no pleasure at all.
There's no pleasure because you gave up something out of ignorance. Ignorance means you don't know joy content. So you give it up. Like a villager doesn't want to come to the city, doesn't want to go to a mall in the city. He doesn't know what it is. Like people who are in India say, I don't want to see New York. New York mein kya rakha hai? But have you seen it? to know कि रखा क्या है या नहीं रखा उसमें. Like we give up the self. We are not interested in spiritual education. We don't know what it is. We don't know what we'll get out of it. So this kind of renunciation, which is given up out of ignorance, is tamasic renunciation. The example often given is a lady going to the garbage can with a bag of jewelry in one hand and the garbage in the other. So instead of throwing the garbage into the garbage can, she throws the bag of jewelry. So anyone watching her says, "Wow, look at this! Just look at this." She threw her jewelry away into the garbage bin. She did it out of ignorance. Okay, renunciation clear? Anybody any problem with renunciation? Very
Janki ji,
important.
so how do we view as seeing this tamasic renunciation? Could you just give more example, practical example maybe?
A bachelor saying they don't want to get married because they don't know the joy of marriage.
Couldn't that be Sattvic renunciation?
But where is the action, Bharat, over there? There should be action, no, for it to be Sattvic renunciation. You get married and then you behave without do the right thing in the marriage, crave for no result, have no ego, then you will understand what marriage really is. See, all the wise people are smiling because they have understood
But
what it really is.
but that's the intent, right? If the person has thought through and decided that marriage is not for me, not marrying is still could be a sattvic renunciation, no?
Yes, Varsha, it could be. But then we can't say all that to Bharat, no? We have to encourage him in the right direction. The important thing is that you thought and did. That makes it sattvic renunciation. He's asking, it could be tamasic, Bharat, when it is like that. I don't know which other example to give you. What all is? Somebody else, please give more examples. Everybody give some example of tamasic renunciation.
You throw away something, you don't know its value.
Okay.
Ignorance only that.
What
you
else?
you give up eating sweets because you have diabetes or something, but claim that you no more are interested in the sweet. Oh, sorry, that's Rajasic. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You don't go to vote because you don't know your duty that you need to vote, each and every
Very
one of
good,
us.
Meera. Very good. You don't go to vote. You have a responsibility to your country. How dare you not vote? You have to vote. You have to make your way there, whether you like it or not. Yes, very good example.
Jankiji, a person not taking care of his parents but wants to start an orphanage.
Yeah, okay, good. Not taking care of your parents, not taking care of your children, not taking care of your wife, not taking care of anything, any responsibility which is yours. And you don't do it. Not taking care of your room because you don't know the pleasure of living in a clean house. Not taking care of your health, everything.
Not doing morning studies.
Not doing morning studies, very good. Not getting up between 4 and 6 because you don't know what it means. Never enjoyed that bliss.
Jankaji, what would you call a renunciation where there is no clarity? For example, a lot of people are saying they will not take the vaccine because there are various opinions about it. For example, a lot of people say that it's unnecessary for you. Your body can fight it if you stay. What would that kind of a renunciation be?
It's you. An action is never said. You have to understand the internal motivation of that person. If the person has an honest disagreement after having studied the data, he studied the data, he's heard all the points of view, and he has an honest disagreement, then sattvic renunciation. If he's heard one side of the situation and refuses to even listen to the other side, This is Rajasic renunciation.
Janki ji,
Or Tamasic, I don't know. Whatever, depends on what is the motivation.
what happens if it also is coupled up with gut feeling?
Sometimes somebody who's allergic.
One second, Malti. What if it's coupled with gut feeling? But your gut
Yes.
feeling can only work if it is in an area of your knowledge. How can your gut feeling work when it's an area of ignorance? It makes no sense. What is gut feeling? What is intuition? Intuition is when your intellect works so fast that you don't really see a process taking place. Now, when can your intellect work so fast? Because you're very what should I say? You're proficient in that field. When you see these guys playing tennis, sometimes you can't see that ball. But if you and I try to hit it, everybody will see what we are hitting. The speed at which these sportsmen function, it's like, how do they get it? The great proficiency and that practice, it has gone on for years and years and years with the right technique and the right exercise and the right everything, and now their levels are like unbeatable. Unbeatable by people like ordinary people like us. So same thing at the intellectual level. If you want that kind of speed and that kind of precision, you have to know that thing that well. But I don't know anything and I have intuition. What sense does that make? Okay, Malti. You're muted.
It's okay, Janki. I was just saying, if somebody knows they have an allergic reaction to the vaccination or whatever, they've had it in the past previous, so then that is
Then they have knowledge in the area, right?
That's when there's a difference.
Yeah. So if you have knowledge in the area, your intuition works. If you don't have knowledge in the area, now what intuition are you talking about?
Then in that case, Janki ji, this example what I gave is mind driven.
Yeah. It could be fear driven and these conspiracy theory driven. Every day they come up with a new conspiracy theory. You know, they keep saying that, oh, this thing is there because so and so benefited and so benefited. Okay, let's see the benefit these people have got by having it. Well, talk in the air. Talking in the air is always easy. If you really think so, let's see the proof. Show it. Are you okay, Bharat?
Yes, thank you.
Janki, just
what?
one example.
Mhm.
Just building on that morning study.
Mhm.
And so I get up in the morning, 2 weeks study, start enjoying. And then I discovered that there's an interesting program which comes on television at night. And I start enjoying that more. And I stop getting up in the morning. Is this Rajasic renunciation?
No, Tamasic only.
This will be Tamasic.
Yeah, because you have not you, I know you have been studying for many years, but a person has not understood the full joy of that. And therefore is, finds some other joy more interesting. But if you are, for instance, Swamiji, he will never do that, right? He will never not get up in the morning because he found a really interesting program. I mean, he may do it occasionally once or something, or he may see the program. I know what he's doing. I'm not commenting on him, but somebody may see a program. One night there was some extraordinarily good movie, so you saw it. And then you'll say, okay, never mind, let's sleep today. I will get up early and then I'll sleep again, or you'll do something like that. But you won't probably give up long term your studies if you understood its worth, its value, its role that it's playing in your life. Once you see the role it is playing in your life, how can you give it up? It's like, I'll give up. I mean, everybody eats, right? Everybody brushes their teeth. Everybody does whatever it takes to reach wherever they want to go. So if you see it as not just the immediate pleasure of the enjoyment of the study in and through of itself, but the enjoyment of the entire journey, which is based on that. So you wouldn't give it up for that, for anything. And if you do, that is because you don't have that enjoyment. I mean, the overall thing, I don't mean just the moment of study.
50% are doing Janki.
Huh?
50% of the 36 numbers, they are doing the morning study.
Okay.
Almost.
Good, do. Whoever does it will benefit. So I don't know if all of you know that there is a group to help us all get up in the morning. Just like, helping each other when you're sort of saying I'm doing it, then you're more likely to be doing it. And just, being together and helping each other on our path. So there is a group to help you do morning studies. Join the group if you haven't joined it. And say, even those who are used to studying in the morning are also please do join the group, because the fact that you're doing it will encourage your friends also, will encourage the group to do it. And really, it would be great if not one or two of us evolved, but we as a group, all of us went forward. That would be an amazing achievement, that we are all moving forward. It is always the ideal situation that we're all going forward together. Nobody's left behind, and we will give each other like a hand up whenever necessary. We are there for each other, and we are doing this journey together. This should be our sort of attitude, in spite of the fact that we have not met each other. Now, most of the names, at least, I am getting familiar with. I'm sure you are also getting familiar with most of the names. And once COVID is over, hopefully we can all meet. Somebody, I shouldn't tell you this, just a secret, okay? Somebody has offered a place to us in Finland for us to do a retreat. Now, people talk a lot, there's a lot of talk in the air always. So therefore, it is not really official information. But if that's true, then one day maybe we'll have a retreat there. And Bharat will, of course, coordinate anybody who wants to. Or if anybody else has another option, we're happy to consider whatever action whenever we can travel freely. So if you have another option, tell Bharat, be part of the coordination team. Don't always sit back and expect Bharat to do everything, because everything becomes then Bharat's responsibility somehow. He is one of us, just like everybody else is. So take it up on yourself, do something, find a place that we can all go to, have a retreat for a few days, and study together, see each other once and for all. I mean, I feel I know you so well, and it's difficult to think that I've never even met you. And I'm sure you all seen each other, know each other, and never met each other. It sounds strange in today's world, isn't it, how this has worked? So, so we are all in this together, and there to help each other, progressing along this path. And it's important that we help each other, because what we're doing is not an entirely usual thing. In the sense that in your own family, in your own friends, you may not find so much support in what you're doing. So therefore, it's good that we can give each other support, because we are all interested in this. I know in my family, not a soul is interested. I mean, they're totally disinterested. And they don't even know what is going on. They just feel, something is going on, which I'm sure must be what is happening in your families as well. Very rare you see the couple come together, or the parent and child come together. Very, very rare. As I look at all the names over here, I don't see a single couple over here. with the probable exception of the Abdis who I cannot see today, or the Jayaramans who I cannot see today. I mean, most of us sort of alone, right? Alone, I mean, I wouldn't say alone. We're not lonely. We all have beautiful families, but nice to have us all together on the path. So helping each other is a part of this whole thing. We help each other and we help anybody who wants to also traverse this path. Okay, so that was what for renunciation. Then what else? I don't know what is in the text now. What's the next one?
Prepare your chart.
No, prepare your chart. No.
The
That
knowledge,
chart is over.
knowledge is left, action is left, actor is left, and dhriti is left.
Yeah,
But please put this over here, Omkar. This is what we have to read now? Oh,
Yes.
Sheetal, Omkar and you. Okay, very good, Sheetal. Yes. So, Omkar and Sheetal are there as a couple. So, that's good. We have at least one couple doing this together. Very nice.
Yeah, this is where what we have to read.
Yes.
Okay. So, who will read? Sheetal, now that you have said you and Omkar are together, then since Omkar has put it on the screen, you read it.
We've
Okay.
done this.
Sure.
Done this. Janki ji, we've done
You've
this.
done this?
Yes, on the 19th of June.
Okay.
We have to do the next, the knowledge, the action,
Yeah,
the next
knowledge.
knowledge, action, actor, and dhriti. That 4 has been left.
This we have to do? Knowledge.
Yes. Yes.
But maybe it's moved in this, maybe in the, I don't know. Okay, whatever. Is this what you have to do? Okay, let's do it.
Yes, Janki ji, because my book is also jumbled up, but I have written the numbers of the paragraph which we have done. So these are left.
All right. So go ahead, Sheetal. Read what is Sattvic Jnana.
Sure. Knowledge Gnanam. Sattvic knowledge is the knowledge which recognizes the care of all beings at the self, Atman and Brahman, the supreme reality that pervades the pluralistic phenomena of the world, the infinite substratum upon which the world is projected. It is the knowledge of the underlying unity in the diversity of things and beings, a knowledge that finds you the harmony and peace you seek in life. So it says, Janki ji, many in body, one in mind. When you follow Sattvic knowledge, so it realizes that I am the soul, the others, the every we are related to everyone, and like it says here that unity in diversity of things and beings. So each one is connected, and I think that many in body, one in mind. Everybody is the same, Atman and the self. Human beings, the way we are connected to things and people, we are one only.
Yeah.
At the
So when we say we are one, what is one in everything?
self and Atman.
And Atman? Self and Atman is the same thing.
So self.
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 So self is the same. All body, mind, and intellect is different. Electricity is the same. All the gadgets are different. Gold is the same. All the jewelry is different. So there is a oneness amongst everything. That knowledge, which is able to see the oneness in spite of all the difference. Like maybe we can see it in this class, right? So many different people. Anita is different from Usha, is different from Surendra, is different from Srinivasan. Everyone is so different. And yet there is one thing common to all of us. What is the one thing common to all of us?
studying Vedanta.
You're all interested. Yes. One thing, correct. Both of you are right. At least in this group, the one common thing is that we all want to grow, we all want to evolve, we're all interested in using Vedanta as our means of growing and evolving. Otherwise, what is that? So, what's the glue between us? Why do we meet once a week, every week, so regularly? Because there's one thing that is common. Similarly, between us and every Indian, there is one thing common. What is that thing?
Fellow countrymen.
We are all Indians. India is common to us. There is something common between us, all human beings. What is that thing?
Homo sapiens.
Intellect.
Okay.
We're all
Intellect may
human
not be
beings.
similar, Varsha.
Humanity.
Huh?
Humanity.
Humanity, our species is the same. We are the same species, all of us. Black and white and blue, whatever your color be, all humans. Whatever your body, mind, intellect is, all humans. Why can't we see each other like that? Why do we have to make some kind of demarcation at all times? That person who makes no demarcation, because he's able to see the one self in all things, such a person has Sattvic knowledge. So what is Sattvic knowledge? The capacity to see the unity in the difference. You do this in your family, right? The individuals in your family are so different. One son may be a high achiever, the other son may not be a high achiever, but to you, they're the same because you see the oneness in the diversity. That kind of knowledge is called Sattvic knowledge. Sattvic knowledge manifests at the heart level, at the emotions level, as universal love. At the level of knowledge, it is the understanding. It is a real understanding, the true understanding, not the fake understanding of saying it, but the true understanding that we are all one. All the one self, in and through everything. The one self, yourself and myself, same self. No difference. Like the electricity in the numerous gadgets is just the same. No difference. That which makes your hand move is the same thing that makes my hand move. I raise my hand and this finger moves. That which makes this finger move is the same thing that makes your finger move, that makes every animal move, that makes every plant grow. Same thing. No difference. If you're able to tune into that frequency, Sattvic knowledge. If you're not able to tune into that frequency, then we come to Rajasic knowledge. Now, what is very important for us to grasp as a concept is, if knowledge is the capacity to see the unity and the diversity, then which education are we currently giving our children that lets them see this? Where is this knowledge being given to humanity? What is the point? You've learned so much, but you don't know how to see the unity. Now, what is the point of all the knowledge? Or you reject the definition. The definition given to us is knowledge. True knowledge is the capacity to see the unity in the diversity. That's the definition given. You can reject the definition. You can say, no, I don't believe this is the right knowledge. But if you don't reject the definition, then where is this education given? And who even considers this education important to be given? And how much do I commit myself to getting this education? These are questions, no, for us to ask ourselves. In class saying, yes, Sattvic knowledge is seeing the unity and the diversity, next point. That's not what this subject is meant for. It's meant to see, reflect on it. Do I agree? Do I buy this definition? When you study tomorrow morning, this is the question you have to say. Is this correct? Would we agree that knowledge means seeing the unity and the diversity? Imagine you knew all the parts of a car individually, but you had no idea that all those parts together make up a car. Then is the knowledge that you have of those parts useful? Because your car ain't moving, Buster. You don't know that it's a car. So knowledge is the capacity to see the unity in the diversity. Suppose I was the CEO of a company and my production man is saying something, my sales team is saying something, my finance team is saying something, but I have no concept of how all this works together. Will I not be losing my CEO job pretty quick? So would you agree with this definition? That knowledge is the capacity to see the unity and the diversity. If you cannot see how all the parts work together, if you cannot see the overall picture, then you must accept ignorance in that field. I know so many ingredients, but I have no idea how to use them to make a dish. Can I claim knowledge of cooking? So, when you study in the morning, don't just say, what a beautiful idea. Don't talk like that. Try and do a rational thought process on it, which says, is this true? Is it true what I just studied? And if it is true, then am I committed to this or not? If I'm not committed, even if I claim truth, I don't think it is true.
Chankyji, one question. So, seeing the whole picture would also call for assessing the scenario and the nature of the person you're dealing with. So, understanding the pluses and minuses of his personality would also be Sattvic knowledge.
Yeah, because you can see the whole, right? With reference to whatever you're seeing the whole. But if you're only seeing his negative side or only seeing his positive side, what is that? My husband told me this a few days ago. He said if men behave after marriage as they did before marriage, there would be no divorces. If women behaved before marriages as they behave after marriage, there would be no marriage. First you think he's saying nice things, but now you know what type of person he is. Yeah, so if men behave after marriage as they do before marriage, there would be no divorce. If women behave after marriage if women behave before marriage as they do after marriage, there would be no marriage. True, isn't it? Both change basically. So before marriage, what happens? Bharat, before marriage, when you look at somebody, you say, what a beautiful person. What a lovely person. How sweetly she talks. How well she behaves. How service oriented. She's such a Vedantin. So many things you will say. After marriage, you'll see just the other side. This is not detachment. This is indifference. This is not universal love. This is lack of focus. All things will change. All things will change. This is not gentleness. This is cowardice. whole thing changes immediately after. So you're right, Bharat. If you're able to see the whole picture, then that is Sattvic knowledge. Oh, I didn't see these questions. To think for ourselves and all around us, which makes it take better decisions and selfless ones. Yeah, that's right. If you think for yourself and everyone else, you will take better decisions. What is the best way to stay objective? See the whole picture, I guess. Stay objective means what? It only means you've engaged your intellect. When you engage your intellect, the result is objectivity. Okay. Okay, Nonita. Nonita, you're going to preserve what Santok sir says. What about Santok? Madam, are you preserving that also? Everybody tells me this all the time. I don't understand what's going on. Bharat, are you okay?
Yes, thank you.
So yes,
Janki
you're
ji,
right. Yeah.
in his defense, he's also spoken about the men.
Sorry?
In his defense, he's also spoken about the men.
Yeah, everybody is always defending him. I really don't get it.
I don't know him, but it's just a statement.
Yeah, I know. When you know him, you will be defending him a lot more. So I have to keep him away from everybody. I've realized that. Okay, so is Sattvic knowledge? Is Sattvic knowledge clear? Please think about it. Don't swallow it because it is. Oh, Jyoti, one comment went up. I can't see. Oh, okay. Knowledge gives freedom, and on a whole, they cannot have us to be free and fearless. How will they control? Yeah, I think you mean if you have knowledge, you cannot be controlled. Yeah, that's correct. Now where we have. So Sattvic knowledge, please think about this. Think about it. Don't just say, yeah, Sattvic knowledge means seeing the unity in the diversity. Rajasic knowledge means seeing the diversity without the unity. Don't go like that. Ask yourself the question, is this correct? Is this correct? And if it is correct, whatever according to you is correct, you have to commit yourself to that. No point saying, yes, it's correct. What do you mean it's correct? Vedanta doesn't require our verification. It's correct. The point to know whether it's correct or not is whether I am committing to it or not. I don't know if you can say it's like X-ray vision. Let's say it's like supervision. No, not supervision. Supervision as in supervision, not as in one word. Having a whole picture. See the whole picture. It's like, see, you have so many pieces of the jigsaw. But only when you put the jigsaw together, you know what is that thing. So when you have all the pieces, that doesn't give you knowledge of what that thing is. Only when you're able to put it together, then it gives you knowledge. Of course, we'll be studying all of this pretty much in detail when we do How Do We Know What We Know, because that is a book on knowledge itself. So we'll be studying this in detail. Okay, so Sattvic knowledge is clear, at least enough for you to think about tomorrow morning. That's all you basically need. Paulomi, when there's confusion in the mind, how to exert the intellect. Paulomi, if you find that there is too much confusion for you to exert the intellect, then your only option is to go and approach somebody who has an intellect and borrow theirs. Isn't it? What else can you do? So in the subject, wherever you're finding confusion, go to somebody who knows better, who has a stronger intellect, and go with what they are saying, meaning use their intellect when our intellect is not able to guide us properly. But if you feel that no, I can do it on my own, then you get up in the morning and seriously apply yourself. One good way of seriously applying yourself is writing down. Once you've written down whatever your confusion is, then learn to write down the same confusion briefly. That means when you start talking, you just talk, so much talk when you're writing all this stuff. So at some point you have to ask yourself the question, so what's my point? What's the point? So bring it down to 5 points or whatever, as many points as you have. But just the point. And go over your points over and over again and say, are any of these points repeated? If so, remove the repetition. Okay, so that you'll finally have some kind of press. You'll have what are the reasons you want to do something? What are the reasons you don't want to do it? And once you've come to your pressy, okay, that means to that extent your intellect has got engaged. Then let your intellect find out what it wants to do about it. If you want to do it yourself. If you don't want to do it yourself, then go approach somebody with a stronger intellect who can help you do it. Feeling is one thing, action is another, yet we praise Saint Kabir who runs after a dog for his roti, didn't have ghee. Anujan, when we come to the 4th chapter of the book, How Do You Know What You Know, we'll be doing things like this. So yes, feeling is one thing, action is another. Then what are we praising Saint Kabir for running after the dog? This is all metaphoric. It is one way of communicating. Philosophy communicates mathematically, and stories communicate in a different way. So we will study why so many saints so many different things, because they are communicating, but with a different way, in a different way. Okay, so we'll study it. You're there, no, on Thursdays? I think you're there, right?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
We're going to do a whole chapter on this. Oh, does it say out of stock? Somebody else also had that problem on Amazon, right? If you're finding it out of stock on Amazon, I think we'll have to do something about it. Omkar, will you please check why is everybody telling us that the book is out of stock on Amazon?
There are two. There's one which is an older listing. I don't know how to remove that. But whoever is facing this difficulty can contact us. We'll send you the right link.
Contact Omkar or Bharat Pavlomi and they'll sort this thing out for you. Okay, so let's do Rajasic Knowledge. What's Rajasic Knowledge? Who's going to read Rajasic Knowledge? You know how to contact Bharat, right? You can look up the number on the janki.santok.com website. Yeah. Yes, please do.
Rajasic knowledge is that knowledge by which you see manifold beings and not the unifying self within. You look at them severally. Notice distinctions and divisions and see the pluralistic phenomena of the world. A diversity instead of the one underlying reality. It is the opposite of Sattvic knowledge. I think pretty much clear that fails to see the unity, sees manifold beings as separate entities, diversity. One word, it is diversity.
Yes. So Rajasic knowledge sees alag. Sab kuch alag hai. Okay, your family is different from my family. Your life is different from my life. Your everything is different from my everything. Pakistan is different from India, Israel is different from Palestine. You see, different. And it's different, true. It's not the same. Of course it's different. But when you see all those differences, you cannot see anything which is same. Can't see it. So some people can find a unification of things, and some people see a diversification of things. You can argue till doomsday. Is it all united or is it all diverse? You can argue till doomsday because the fact is they're both. The option is with us, which one we want to see. Everybody, every single one of us in this class is so different from everybody else. And yet there is a unity between us. So what do you want to see? You want to see how that person is and how that person is, or you want to associate with the fact that we are all on this journey together? Now you have to ask yourself this question. Under which of these two conditions is your mind more calm? Is it when you're seeing the diversity? Or is it when you're seeing the universality, the oneness? Just ask yourself the questions. Don't even need to find an answer. At least ask the question. Okay, so that's it for Rajasic. So we did Rajasic and Sattvic knowledge. It's very simple. In theory, it's very simple. Sattvic knowledge is you see the unity. In Rajasic knowledge, you see the diversity. Now, what you have to study when you reflect is this true? What are the consequences of it being true or false? Then it makes sense. Not because we are verifying Vedanta. Vedanta does not require our verification. But so that I know what I will commit myself to. Oh, Bharat, announcement. Yes, very important. So no class tomorrow, no Sunday class tomorrow, because we are very, very fortunate to have Swamiji's annual lecture on the occasion of Guru Purnima. It is our day to remember the galaxy, the centuries of the Guru Shishya Parampara that has gone on for so many, I don't know what, centuries, and has today come down to us. Whatever you are hearing in the class is a consequence of what Swamiji has taught, right? Whatever Swamiji has taught is a consequence of the Parampara, and the Parampara is going back, thousands and thousands of years. So it's one day a year we stop and we say to ourselves, time to thank this whole line that has brought it down to us. And especially to thank our teacher who has been the medium by which we have received this great knowledge. So Swamiji will be speaking to us tomorrow on the occasion of Guru Purnima. I mean, it's not really Guru Purnima, but for the occasion of Guru Purnima. And so we won't have class in the morning, we'll listen to him in the evening. So no class in the morning and Swamiji's lecture in the evening. So once a year you get to hear the non-abridged version, and the rest of the year you get to hear only the abridged version. So time to take the benefit of being able to hear him.
Thank you. Sorry, just one more point. The watch link for the Guru Purnima event will be shared on the group for all. So tomorrow we'll share that. Thank you.